Hey PC gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer Chat Log. I'm Lauren Morton, and I'm here with Mollie Taylor.
Hey everyone.
And this week, it's just going to be me and Mollie, and we are talking about how to turn everybody in your life into a PC gamer with one game recommendation. Or, well, not one recommendation for every single person. That would be impossible. One recommendation for each kind of person in your life. We talk about our parents. We're going to talk about your roommates, your dates. You want everybody to just join you in PC gaming, right? Just like, a thought experiment. Can you get your mom into PC gaming? I think some people might already have PC gaming moms, but for the rest of us whose moms play Bejeweled and Candy Crush, how do you get her on the PC, man? How do you do it?
We're repping the Candy Crush moms. I think our mom is like the same person, just existing.
Yes.
Somehow.
Just across the ocean.
Two sides of the world at once, yeah.
I don't know. You said your mom already has like some video game experience, and like my childhood was like, hee, I'm gonna hand my mom my Xbox controller one time while I'm playing Halo 3 and watch her do the thing where they look immediately down and then spin in a circle because they do not know how to operate in 3D space. Yeah, not everybody's mom is Shirley Curry, right? The Skyrim grandma who just like went off and got into Skyrim, right? So that's what we're gonna be debating today. But before that, Mollie, what did you do last week?
Yeah, so I did some slightly secretive stuff last week that I can't quite talk about yet. I went on a press trip that you will be able to hear about very soon, probably like a few hours after
you're hearing this. Yeah.
So I got
it was so close.
Yeah, so close. I got up to some very secret gamer stuff, because we're my hairdresser actually had to explain to one of his other clients that I was like just a games journalist and not like part of like secret services or something, because he was like, can you not talk about it? And I was like, I can't talk about it. And then his client was like, what? Like, what is this? And he was like, no, she's just a games journalist. It's fine. It's like, it's not that important. But yeah, so I did that. And then I'm still on my fighting game bullshit. I went to a Street Fighter 6 tournament. Day 3 even. The game came out on June 2nd. And I went to a Street Fighter tournament on June 4th.
You got in pre-launch practice, so
I did. Yeah, I had that. You would think I had that reviewer's buff, but the tournament went as about as well as I was expecting, which was like not at all. I immediately went 0-2. No. I didn't win a single game. I got knocked out.
Oh no! Is that your first 0-2 in a tournament?
It's my first 0-2, but I'm okay with it because I was expecting it, and the person who knocked me out was one of my best friends. So it was a sacrifice, right? It was a sacrifice so that he could continue and also get knocked out immediately after me. So it was good fun. It was good seeing friends. And then we gave up very fast and went bowling instead.
Nice.
So, yeah. So it's been like a very light gaming week for me.
But I feel like I've heard bowling from you multiple times, but one was Tekken bowling, like bowling inside Tekken, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was real bowling.
This was real bowling.
This is like actually going out and touching grass and
this was not bowling. Bowling.
Yeah, this isn't virtual bowling anymore. This is real life bowling. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Leaving the house.
Leaving the house and doing a group activity.
It's wild, I know. So yeah, that was my week. Very light. Not a lot going on for me this week. What about you?
I did not leave the house and do group activities. I was on Discord all weekend with my friends playing Diablo because let's see, it would have been June 1st. The evening of June 1st here was the start of the early access for Diablo 4 for like pre-order players to jump in. And then the like proper launch wasn't until the night of June 5th. It's like midnight your time, but it's evening here that it happened. So I had friends that were like eager to jump in, got one of the pre-order editions. I was like, you can wait till the 5th to play. Like, I'm gonna be playing Diablo, I promise you. But several of them all jumped in. Got to hang out with a lot of necromancers and sorcerers. I've been leveling a rogue. I know everybody wants to be a caster. Where's the druid love? Druids are casters too. Why does nobody want to be a druid?
Why does no one want to be a druid? They can
I'm gonna have to be a druid. I know. I should want to be a druid. They have a bear form. That's like me, right? But I've always played a rogue. I like to be the stabby person. So just been doing a lot of so I've done like the first act multiple times, like already from the previous beta weekends, but now I've done most of the first act with like 2 different groups of friends.
Oh my goodness.
And what else was I gonna say about it? Yeah, leveling a rogue. Oh, and then map clearing. I'm an obsessive map clearer.
Yes, Guild Wars brain.
Guild Wars brain. I have to uncover all of the fog of war, the like blurry parts of the map. I have to get all the altars of Lilith, and like my friends are just like, let's go do the next main quest. I'm like, hello, and they're running off to Skosglen to the next main area out of the Fractured Peaks. I'm like, there are still blurry parts on my map. You have fun. I'm not coming with you. I have things to do here. They made fun of me like just last night. They were like, eventually Lauren has to do literally everything in the Fractured Peaks before she'll leave for the next area. And I was like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. I do have to do everything.
Guild Wars brain is good brain, you know? Clearing everything feels...
Everything needs to be tidy. Everything needs to be cleared. I don't need to do all of the side dungeons before I leave. I probably won't do all of the side dungeons, but I do already have all the altars of Lilith and all the waypoints and all of the strongholds cleared because there are altars of Lilith and waypoints in some of those. So yeah, I've just been tidying up in Diablo, just hoovering up enemies and waypoints and making sure I have all of my T's crossed and I's dotted. That's me.
You're the kind of person I need to play with. I haven't actually played Diablo since it launched. I played the closed beta and loved it, but I haven't jumped into the full game yet. I've been busy. I haven't had time.
You were away, yeah.
I was away, and I'm away again this week as well. So it's hard to like squeeze in that gaming time at the minute. I gotta prioritize, you know.
You need to focus and get back to your desk and play some video games.
I need to stop touching grass. I need to hunker down, and I need to just play some goddamn video games. I will do that when all the madness of touching grass is over, and hopefully I can come back and be like, Diablo 4 was really cool, or I didn't like Diablo 4 that much. Who knows what I'll think. I enjoyed the closed beta, but beyond that I'm not sure how I'll fare after putting in like dozens of hours. We'll see.
And for this week, then, we're going to talk about how to get everybody else in your life to stop touching grass and focus down and get a PC and play on it forever, like we do. That's what we need, the kind of dedication from everybody in our lives, right? All right, so let's get into it. Oh, no. That was like what people say on TikTok. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
I've been watching too much TikTok. Oh, no. Okay, so before we start talking about how to turn everybody else we know into a PC gamer, I think it's important to start with our own roots. Who made you into a PC gamer, Mollie?
Yeah, so I think my answer will be the same as a lot of other people's answers, which is my dad. So I think my dad kind of tried with like strategy games at first. You know, like you're like PC ass, like your PC gamer ass PC games. He used to play a butt ton of Command and Conquer when I was a little kid. Was not for me. Was not into it.
Wait, what age were you?
Like 2.
You didn't take to the strategy genre at age 2? That wasn't for you?
No, it's not very, you know, it's just not the most toddler friendly genre.
I can understand. Not enough color. A little bit dense, perhaps.
Not enough prettiness, right? And I will admit I wasn't the biggest PC gamer when I was a kid. The first game that really like grabbed me was Killer Instinct Gold on the Nintendo 64, which is, surprise, surprise, a fighting game. But I think the first time I was like really into PC gaming for a bit was when my dad let me play Disney's Toontown Online.
Oh.
On the PC in his bedroom. I love that game. Yeah, fighting games and MMOs. My dad really started me off when I was
Intense.
young. Yeah, it's all his fault that I am where I am today. So thanks, Dad. How about you, Lauren? Who is the person that got you into games?
My dad is not a gamer.
Wow.
So I had a Super Nintendo. He did bring home a Super Nintendo when I was pretty young, around like 4, and I have memories of one of the early like Star Wars games on the Super Nintendo, one of the side scrollers. And he certainly put me in front of like the edutainment type stuff on the
Yeah.
computer when I was a kid, because I remember as a kid, like, your Nintendo boxes had the video games and the computers had the like math blasters and treasure mountain and all of the like Freddy the Fish and all of the other like classic sort of like learning-y puzzle adventure
Yes.
games. Um, so I was playing both of those things pretty young, and I didn't consider myself like primarily a PC gamer. Like, I played consoles for a long time
Me too.
until like Guild Wars hit. So like I was a teenager until I was like mainly PC gamer. But I think my first like real spirit of PC gaming was when a friend in elementary school introduced me at her house to The Sims, the original Sims.
Yes.
And I do have memories of waking up before elementary school, before getting on the bus and going down to the family computer in the living room and getting on The Sims before I would get on the bus in the morning. And I think that's some PC gamer ass behavior.
That is some
Probably I was
PC gamer
exhibiting
ass.
around like age 7 or 8 or something. So
That's pretty cool. I think I was the same as you, actually. I was playing like those weird education games on PC when I was like pretty young. We had one in the UK called Learning Land. And that was like, it was
oh,
like a subscription, if I remember correctly. So you got like a magazine and you got like a CD with that. And then you could put like the little CD-ROM in. There's like maybe 5 of them, and they were all different themes. So I got started on it pretty young, but I would say like when I got a little bit older, that was when like PC gaming specifically grabbed me. But as
yeah.
a little console baby for a long time.
Shout out to the edutainment era of PC gaming.
I
The
know,
like
right?
the humongous entertainment. Oh man, I freaking love Freddy the Fish, Pajama Sam. What was the other one? Putt Putt Travels Through Time, and you always got to play a demo of one on the CD of the other that you borrowed from the library. Those were the shit when I was a kid.
Good
I love
life.
those. Yeah. So speaking of parents, that's one of the first people that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
What game would you recommend to one of your parents to turn
Yes.
them into a PC gamer? Do you want to go first, Molly? We both struggled with this in very different ways, right?
Yeah. So I feel like I had to leave my dad out of it, right? Because like I was basing it off my own parents, and because my dad was the one that was really into PC games, I was like, okay, he doesn't count.
He's already a PC gamer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's already in, he's already there. So I was like, okay, my mum, what the hell would my mum play? So I have like a little bit of an advantage here because my mum has played games in the past. She used to play the Professor Layton games on
Oh, yeah,
the
sure.
Nintendo DS. So she used to play that. She really liked those little like hidden object games on the DS as well. Those were her shit. And she doesn't really do that. She plays like solitaire and Candy Crush. The typical like mother like
Mom games.
yeah, the typical mom game experience, Candy Crush and solitaire. So I was trying to think a little bit on like playing off her love for like kind of puzzly things and also her love for like card things. So I have 3 on my on my list. So I'm desperately trying to pick just one. Okay, I will immediately.
Do you have a top pick?
I have at the top of my list, I have A Little to the Left.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, which is this like super wholesome little puzzle game, like very minimalistic, very cozy, very intuitive as well. And I
Yeah.
think that is something that she would really like. I think she could that's one of those games that she would just like tinker away at for like a couple hours and she would like enjoy herself. So I had that one because I was thinking about unpacking originally.
Yeah.
But I like my mum is an intelligent woman, but I was unsure if like that game's narrative would necessarily
It's a little
register.
opaque, right? It's not delivered very directly, which
Yeah,
is not to say that your mom wouldn't get it. But if you're not used to playing games and
yeah,
like determining where the story is coming from, right?
yeah, exactly. So I was like, maybe not, but A Little to the Left seems pretty simple. And then the second
Mm-hmm.
one I had, it's a solitaire RPG called Shadow Hand. So
Keep
what?
talking. Sorry, I shouldn't have slammed my desk. We're on a podcast.
You look so
Oh,
excited.
okay. You just keep talking.
Yeah, so I love Shadowhand. This is a game that I originally saw at an EGX Res back in like 2015, 2016, I want to say. It was a while ago, right? And it's like this it's like kind of solitaire, but then sometimes there's like a turn-based kind of thing to it where you have to play it like against a CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's like the little RPG elements, there's like story elements. You could dress up the character and like the gear have different stats. There's like a lot going on, but it's very easily digestible in my brain. And I love that game. And I feel like she would love it too. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like she'd play the hell out of it. Have you played Shadowhand or is this right up your alley?
I have not played Shadowhand, but I will, before I say anything, I will just let everyone know that Mollie and I on purpose kept all of our picks separate from each other because we wanted to be able to see if either of us were brilliant or exactly had the same idea. So keep going if you have more to say about your
Oh my
Shadowhand
God.
recommendation, and
Okay.
then I'll go.
I'm so excited to see what you to see what you selected now. But yeah, I think she would really dig Shadowhand. It's a nice game. There's like a little bit of RNG bullshit in it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's great. It's really pretty as well. It's a really, really pretty game. So big up Shadowhand. And then I also had Phoenix. Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But that
She's already
was
played Professor Layton, so you
yeah.
know.
It's the natural progression. They had a crossover game on the Nintendo
Mhm.
3DS. So
Yeah.
why not? But yeah, those are my options. But
Those are good picks.
for your reaction, I'm settling on Shadowhand.
Okay. So we went in really similar territories at every part of this question because I skipped over my dad because he's not a PC gamer, but I've already had these thoughts before. I was like, I have a history dad who used to paint miniatures. I already decided years ago that his life could be destroyed by civilization if he ever got into it.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, you can't use that. You've already thought about it. You need to challenge yourself. So you need to think about your mom, who is also not really a gamer. She did some Candy Crush, some of the pet one, the whatever the other match 3 one was. She got a little bit into Wordle. So like habit forming, puzzly type stuff. But I have to get her off the phone, right? I have to make her a PC gamer. And so many of those things are on the phone. And so I started thinking about puzzle stuff that was on PC, and just so many of them are so geared towards mobile.
Yes.
I started thinking about like the different things that she actually likes. I mean, she likes sports. She really doesn't like fantasy. She's like a fiction or historical fiction girly. She like any of the goofy fantasy stuff I play or read is just like not her territory. So I can't weird her out with like Grindstone or something by Cappy Games. Like that one's neat and I hear really good things about it, but I'm like, no, that one's too funky. It looks like an Adventure Time cartoon. And I was like, what else does my mom like? What else does my mom like? My mom likes Downton Abbey.
Oh.
And I started thinking to myself, I went into the deep, deep ocean depths of my memory, Molly. And you know what I pulled out? Regency Solitaire.
No way. You know what? I was thinking, I'm so sorry, everybody. I was thinking, I guarantee Lauren has picked Regency Solitaire. That was legit, because I almost picked it. You know, when I said it, like, that Shadowhand has a bit of RNG bullshit in it, I was almost about to say, so maybe she could play Regency Solitaire instead.
Regency Solitaire, also by Grey Alien Games.
Yep.
And the reason I went with Regency Solitaire is because it's got that Downton vibe, right? The story behind it is like you're a lady of high society, and I think your brother's like gambled away your family's money, and you have to like make a good marriage by playing like not exactly solitaire. Like you said, it's got some RNG things in it. It's not like direct solitaire. There's like weird shapes. You're uncovering stuff. You're buying things. There's a whole story behind it. And crucially, it's on PC and Nintendo Switch. I don't think it's on mobile. So I'm like, okay, we could get her into it on her laptop, turn my mom into a PC gamer. And I was also looking at Shadowhand, and I thought to myself, because it was pirates, I was like, no, she wouldn't go for Shadowhand. It needs to be the Regency one. And I just happened to notice that, like, formerly of PC Gamer, Philippa War,
Yes,
reviewed Shadowhand and mentioned in the review preferring Regency Solitaire. That was a little bit earlier. I think Shadowhand is also a good game, but just from that, also, I was like, it's got to be Regency Solitaire.
I cannot believe we've done this.
cannot believe. Clearly, we've solved the puzzle. If your mom is not a gamer, she needs to be playing one of the funky Grey Alien Games solitaire games. It's got to be Shadowhand or Regency Solitaire.
The fact that we went away,
we cracked the code
separately, and both came back with what is essentially the same answer. We either have Downton Abbey Solitaire, I think it's set in Bath as well, which is where
it is.
Yeah, it's where the UK PC gamer offices are based. So we either have like Downton Abbey Solitaire in the PC gamer offices, or we have Pirate Solitaire. Whichever your mum prefers. My mum loves like superheroes and stuff. She's like really into all of that. She loves like all the
So she'd be open to pirates.
Yeah, she loves like the DC TV shows. She loves fantasy. So that, I feel like the pirate bit would be super, super up her alley. I hate this.
This is why I had us keep our answers a secret, because I was hoping.
I can't believe
incredible.
I'm dreading the rest of this now.
Okay. The next one I'm really proud of, actually. I'm going to have you go first again. But the next person we want to get into PC gaming is your theoretical college roommate who only plays FIFA on his PlayStation. And I said his. It could be a woman, but it's probably his PlayStation, right? I had friends like this in university who were FIFA guys. They just come home, hang on the couch, and play some matches, right? And they're very comfortable on their PlayStation, very comfortable playing their sports games. How do you turn that friend into a PC gamer? How do you snatch them away, Mollie?
Oh, God. This one gave me the biggest crisis. Like,
yeah.
I don't exactly have an answer. I have like my train of thought that when I was like making notes for this, I just have like my, oh God, what the hell? So initially my brain automatically defaulted to Overwatch for some reason, because in my head I was like the sort of crossover between like FIFA bros and like shooter bros feels like there's like a distinct crossover between the two. Like in my brain, I think a lot of people I know who play FIFA also play like Call of Duty or whatever. So my brain was like, well, Overwatch is crossplay. And then I was like, no. First of all, I don't really want to recommend Overwatch because
you're not feeling that right now. You're not feeling like recommending Overwatch at this particular moment in
I'm
history.
Done with it. No particular reason why I'm done with it. You know, like just everything. Just the last like 2 years of Blizzard's history has just put me off it. You know, so I was like, no. And then I was still on like the shooter train, so I was like, oh, maybe like Borderlands. I was like, Borderlands might be fun. I was like, but Borderlands 3 is the only crossplay one. And I know Borderlands 3 didn't go down too well. And then I was like, damn, actually, what if it's like a game that is just so much better on PC, right? Because of mods. So I was like, what
because
if,
of
like,
mods. That's a good angle. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, but then would my hypothetical FIFA college roommate really want to play Minecraft? That was like Skyrim or something like that. And then my mind went to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay, sure.
Because I was like, well, FIFA has, you know, the Ultimate Team. It has cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! has cards, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is on PC. But eventually I settled on Rocket League.
Okay, sure.
Because I was like, well, this is sports, but with cars. And will it convince them to make the jump to PC? Maybe not. But I've really struggled with this one. If you couldn't tell, I didn't come up with something in the end because my brain was a mess with this one, and I could not think of something. So I'm really interested to hear your train of thought.
It's okay because I went through like that whole journey of the soul trying to figure out what to recommend my mom. That was my struggle. This one I like talked over with my partner a little bit. I was thinking about some friends that I have who I have a friend who plays a lot of Madden and who also plays a lot of City Skylines. And that was my first thought, was like, maybe sports games are a comfort type of game secretly. Like it's something that you can kind of do by memory. You already all know all these things. You can sit down and you can kind of do it without thinking too hard. I thought maybe that's the kind of thing that a sports gamer is getting from sports and wants from other games. And my partner was saying like, no, there's like the competitive element too. There's the challenge. Like you don't want to miss that. And so I thought, okay, all right, need to find something that's really going to get them into PC gaming. Like you said, what is better on PC? And I'm actually very proud of this sort of strange pick, but I think Desperados 3 by Me Games, who did Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, and Desperados 3, and they have an upcoming Pirates tactical stealth game too. These are real-time stealth tactics. Did you ever play one of these?
No, I have not, but I've heard of them.
So they're excellent. They're excellent stealth tactics games. And crucially, they involve a like large map. Each level is like a big map that's sort of a puzzle that you're solving. You're doing it with a team of different characters that have different abilities, which is not quite the same as like a sports thing, but it's got this real time managing a large area, figuring out a solution. It's kind of like a puzzle angle. And I don't think if you're like playing, I just can't lump all sports players together and be like, they're all exactly the same. Because like, I think probably the FIFA players are different from the Madden players or different from the NBA 2K players. But I just feel like I think there is really something in the real-time stealth challenge tactics. I'm like, I think, and it's inarguably better to play those on PC. I think with a mouse. I think you need a mouse to play real-time stealth tactics for 100%. Sure. And my personal favorite was Shadow Tactics. That was fantastic. But Desperados 3 is also a very good game, and it's cowboys. I feel like you could get your FIFA friend in for a little cowboy tactics potentially.
That's such a good pick, right? Because I think the thing that I just could not...
It's weird.
Yeah, but it's such a good pick because the thing that I was having the most trouble with when I was thinking about this was like, what is the specific part of FIFA that keeps people going back?
Yeah, what do you want from it?
Yeah, like, is it the gameplay? Is it the Ultimate Teams part, which is like kind of RNG, right? It's like you're opening, like from my understanding, it's like opening packs of cards and getting like certain players, right? So my understanding of FIFA is like disgustingly like minimal. And that was the thing that I just could not comprehend. It's like, what is it exactly about FIFA that FIFA players enjoy? I don't mean that like even in like, oh,
you're trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's like because I don't
genuinely want to know which part of it is the part that keeps people like so hooked onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I'd had
like your parents,
Yeah,
your FIFA friends may vary, but
yeah. But it's just that was a tough one for me.
it was tough.
It was really tough because again, it's like, what do you feed them? But I think strategy is like a pretty, especially like a real time sort of like stealth tacticy
Yeah.
kind of game.
Like, I don't know what I would estimate the success rate of that play at. Like give your FIFA friend a real-time tactical stealth game or strategy game and see if it hooks them. But I feel like certain sports friends would grab that with their brains.
They would like
I think
latch
it would
onto
work.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what? I'm still sticking by Yu-Gi-Oh. I'll say that baby has cards too, and I'm sure they would love that. Because I was really trying to think about like games that are really fun to mod on PC. And I was like,
Yeah.
would my hypothetical FIFA friend want to play Minecraft? Would my hypothetical FIFA friend want to play like The Witcher 3?
Hmm.
Would they? Even I don't really want to play The Witcher 3 that much. So it's like
What? Why?
it's so long.
Okay, well, fair. Yeah, maybe getting them into a 100-hour RPG is not the play. Maybe that
No.
doesn't work.
So I Desperados 3, I think that is an incredibly good choice.
It's either way too out there or it's the most big brain thing I'm gonna say today. So we'll just see. Okay, other theoretical friends, different kind of friend. This is something that I think plenty of people go through. What about the person that you're chatting up on Tinder or your dating
Yeah.
app of
A
choice? I have
special
not been on one of
friend.
those in over a decade. Your special friend.
A little special friend.
But like, you know, you're talking to somebody new, you are considering putting them into your life, right? And if you are a big PC gamer and that's a big part of your life, either because you play a lot of MMOs and a lot of your friends are involved in your game, so that's an important part of your socialization, or just because it's your main hobby and you want the person that you're dating to either also be involved with your hobby or just be accepting of the amount of time that you spend on your hobby, you know?
Maybe.
Um, Maybe Molly, you have you ever had to do this before? I think your boyfriend already played fighting games, right?
Yeah. So I'm very lucky with honestly, I've always been quite lucky in that every relationship I've had, they've been like just as big, if not an even bigger gamer than me. Which has been really helpful. I feel like this is perhaps an issue I've not had to run into that much. And yeah, my current boyfriend, we met through like being in the same like fighting game circles. So this was actually also kind of a challenge because like not to, stereotype, but I feel like this is definitely perhaps more difficult if you're trying to like rizz up a lady
If you're
versus
someone who dates women, yeah, who
yeah.
don't play games, yeah.
Like, I find that my friends who date women have the problem of like, oh, they don't really game, and I don't want to be like, you know, I don't want to frighten them with how little I touch grass.
Yeah.
I find that like that's more of an issue for my friends that date women versus
Sure, yeah.
like my friends that date men, right? So I thought on this, and then I did remember that a guy I met on Tinder like a couple years ago now, like a year and a half ago, I want to say, played through the entirety of Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, because I was
Because
playing
of
it.
you?
Yeah, when I was like deep in like my Final Fantasy brain rot phase,
Yeah.
I didn't ask him to. I just talked about it a lot because it was all I did, right? I would like work all day, I would go to the gym, and then I would just play Final Fantasy 14 all night. That is not a game I would recommend to someone that I was chatting up on Tinder, right? I was gonna say Twitter then. Oh my goodness. Someone I was
Don't chat people up on Twitter.
yeah,
Bad idea.
do not chat people up on Twitter for
Wait,
the
have you ever picked up a game for somebody that you were interested in or were dating? Like, have you tried a new game? Or do you
so
already know what you like and you're like, don't mess with me?
I picked up Street Fighter 5 for a little bit when an
Okay.
old boyfriend of mine was like super into Street Fighter. So like he was trying to get into Tekken for me and I was trying to get into Street Fighter for him. I could not get into Street Fighter 5 at the time. So I had to like put that one to bed. I also tried to get into CSGO for an old boyfriend because I used to watch all like the little CS surfing videos.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, I love these. And then turns out like CS surfing is kind of like hard. Like, it's not as easy as they make it look in the videos.
No, it is not.
No. So I kind of struggled with that a little bit. But I've definitely like, you know, tried to get into a game for the sake of my boyfriend. But something that I find works really well is like two things: backseat gaming potential and
Okay. Yeah.
competitive potential. So once again, I come to you with two recommendations. So my first recommendation, if you're at a stage where they're like coming round to your house, right? Put neon white in front of them. Put neon white in front of them, because I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just all the men that I end up like coming across have this just like whack ass yee competitive nature inside them that just makes them want to be better than me. So like you got to get like the best fucking scores, and like a game like Neon White that's so digestible, right? You could just boot that up. You can play like for 5 minutes and you can get some stuff done and jump back out. Put your scores in front of them and just watch them crumble as they try so hard to beat you. And then next thing you know, they'll also be playing Neon White, and you can stream to each other on Discord as you're trying to, and they have to get it on PC because your scores aren't on console.
Oh, if they want to compete with you, they
Yeah.
need to be on PC.
I'm finding a loophole.
Yeah.
Nice. So that was kind of my first thought, was just playing off like that competitive nature, right? Because you've got some great co-op games as well. You've got like It Takes Two, A Way Out. We Were Here as well, I think is like,
I love the We Were Here series.
I still need to play it.
They're so good. The only trouble is that like once you've played it once, it's hard to do it again with someone new because you already know the answer, sort of. But they're still like fantastic. First one's free. If you've never played We Were Here, co-op, split room, asynchronous, or a symmetrical co-op. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I should play that. And then again, backseat gaming feels like a really good one, right? You can like open Discord and you can stream to them, maybe if they like get Discord on their phone. They can get Discord on their phone and you can stream Discord to them. So I was thinking like kind of like story games, you know, like Life is Strange or like LA Noire, where I feel like LA Noire, I played LA Noire because an old boyfriend of mine played LA Noire, and I would like backseat him playing it. I'd be like, no. I'm like, that's the wrong evidence. I'm like, why are you using that? Don't use that. And then I went home and I also bought LA Noire. So I think you have to play off that just a little bit, right? And then you've always got like, I don't know, fucking Call of Duty to fall back on. or Valorant. Valorant is where like everyone seems to be meeting these days.
Well, really?
Yeah, Valorant seems to be where it's all happening. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, I always hear stories about like e-dating in Valorant, and then I always see a lot of like TikTok Valorant videos. So maybe that's where everyone's getting rizzed up, is over on Valorant.
Chat people up on Valorant.
So what about you? What is your selection?
Okay, so I have actually done this. My partner did play games. He was an Xbox guy, Halo guy for a long time. And when we met, Guild Wars 2 had just launched recently. So he got to know what kind of individual I was very quickly, and whether or not he was going to be interested in the lifestyle I was leading at that point. And when we were in school, he would come over to my place. I would be playing Guild Wars 2, and I threw him on my PS4 because Assassin's Creed Black Flag had just come out, and he beat all of Black Flag while we were in school, and just hanging out together but separate, sort of, right? And
existence.
Yeah, he continued being like a console person for a while, even after we moved in. But the thing that turned him into a PC gamer, he built his first PC to play PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds,
Yeah.
because it took over. I mean, it took over. And of course, like he had history with Halo. So he was into FPS stuff. And as you said, the competitive nature of PUBG, you could either play solos or you can be on a team. So me and him and some of the people who are still our close friends played a lot of PUBG together. That's what did it for him. And now he is the hardware master of this household. He picked everything that is in my current rig. He is now the true PC gamer here. So having gone through that and seen that it took something really pervasive that like everybody was playing, his friends were playing, he didn't want to miss out on. I think he spent like $150 to get these like weird overstock parts to like throw together into his first PC that could barely run PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. It was so bad. Like he wouldn't be able to load in levels. Like bridges would fail to load in. So if he was driving a motorcycle while we were playing, we would fall underneath the bridge. Like there are clips of this happening somewhere on my hard drive. It was horrific. So anyway, thinking of that, I was like, okay, we need something pervasive. And I think this might be a basic answer, but I think it's got to be Valheim for me.
Oh, yeah.
Remember how popular Valheim was? I mean, and it's still a fantastic game and it still is popular. But when it took over. And it's not even out of early access yet, right? So I think it's going to have a resurgence even when it goes into full launch. But it is the Viking crafting game. It is the I don't want to say new Minecraft. It's not new Minecraft, but it has the crafting thing. It has the co-op thing. As you said, it's different for if you're dating women and you're trying to get them into like gaming at all. Like throw Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley or The Sims at her. Start there. Not every woman likes those things, but if she doesn't play games already, just start there and see where it gets you. If you're dating men and they don't already play many video games or PC games, you've got a different task cut out for you. And I think Valheim, the co-op ability of it, the like you go off and fight stuff and like I'll be crafting all the resources, or like I'll go off and fight stuff and like you work on building the house. This is whatever speaks to you. My partner is the go off and fight stuff person, like bringing home the resources. He's like, I fought 10 wolves, and like me and our other friend, because this is our core 4 crafting co-op games group at this point. We're like, we've been working on the house, we built a roof. So yeah, I think Valheim. That's my pick for this.
That's a good answer. And you know what? You saying PUBG, I feel like this question would have been so much easier to answer in like 2015, 2016, when like Rust was all the
Yes.
rage. I remember the boyfriend that I had at the time, the one that I was like trying to play CS surfing for, like he was super into Rust. He would play Rust until like, I would go to bed at like 11 p.m., 12 a.m., and I would wake up at 4 a.m. and he was still fucking playing it. Like he would just be like smashing into trees with his little rock for like hours on end, and like he would be like, "Oh look, honey, you know you die and you spawn, and like your willy's a different size, ha 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 ha." Like you can have like a big dick or a small dick, and it's like it's random. And like
the true joy of Rust.
The true joy of Rust is randomly generated penises. So I was like, Rust was all the rage. Like CS
Rust did also take over in that way. You're right.
Yeah. Like Rust had like such a huge moment. Like CS:GO is still popular, but I feel like it was more like it was definitely more in my like awareness back in like 2015, 2016. And again, PUBG. Like those 3 games like dominating on PC for like a hot sec, right? So
yeah.
I definitely this question would have been way easier to answer like 6-7 years ago.
Okay, so a slightly more like topical thing. We talked about TV show adaptations like a little bit ago on this podcast, several episodes ago. And I brought up a TikTok I'd seen of a woman who was on, involved in the book side of TikTok, who I think probably reads like fantasy and other stuff, and was like, yo, I watched The Last of Us. Is this what video games are? Video games have stories like this? I had no idea. And we joked about it at the time. We were like, we think that conversation is so had, but For some people, it's not. They don't know. They didn't know that games had stories like The Last of Us. So how do you get that person, that friend of yours, who's like, yo, I thought you were all just playing Super Smash Bros. And Call of Duty, and our friend who plays FIFA on his PlayStation. I thought that was all of video games. Give me something with a story like The Last of Us. What do you put that person in front of to turn them into a hopeless PC gamer?
Yeah, so this was also kind of tough in a way, right? Because like this TikTok, she was saying how like fantastic The Last of Us, like the story was. But I was like, how invested would like a pure book talker or like a pure book reader be in getting through that game with the shooty bit of it, right? Which even I don't
Yeah,
always love.
that's an important part of this question. What will they actually enjoy playing? That's not going to be like, bam, welcome to video games. Like you gotta ease them into it, right?
And there's a very interesting series on YouTube as well. And I the person's name that does it eludes me, but he does a series of videos on YouTube about what gaming is like for a non-gamer. And it's like he gets his wife to like play a variety of different games and then sort of just
Sure.
like does little like video essays based off like what he found from that. And, you know, and
Okay, like a serious dissection and not like, joke skit videos.
yeah, like a serious dissection of like
Okay.
the things that she responded like positively to and the things that she responded like more negatively about and the things that like for her weren't as intuitive as like they might be for someone like me and you who've been playing for a long time. And it's so interesting because I forget what game it was now. He like put his all-time favorite game in front of her and she was bored. She was like, I'm super bored. Yeah, I know, right?
Oh.
Because she just wasn't enjoying it because it just wasn't coming to her like as naturally as it did to him.
Yeah.
So I kind of had that in mind when I was thinking about this. And I was like, well, for me, there's two genres. There's turn-based RPGs
Yeah.
and there's visual novels. Like visual
Yeah.
novels feel like the obvious choice. And there are so many good visual novels on PC. You have like Clannad, which is one of the most gut-wrenching, heartbreaking visual novels to ever exist. You have like the Danganronpa series, which I wouldn't recommend to like a newcomer, but that exists.
Yeah.
The one, but I settled on a visual novel, which is not the most PC game, but if you have a laptop or something, right? I feel like it's a pretty good one. So I thought Steins Gate feels like such a good little entry point because it's got drama. It's not like
Yeah.
overly like Japanesey weeby in your face. It can be,
Yeah.
but it's not like overly that. But it's got like a really cool sci-fi story. It's got like timeline stuff, time travel. It's like a roller coaster of a story, right? And it's like
Yeah.
really pretty artwork and it's text heavy, which I think, you know, book people will be used to text
Hmm.
heavy stuff. So I was thinking like Steins Gate, but then I was also thinking like Final Fantasy X is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best stories out there. I love Final Fantasy X's story, and
Yeah.
it's got like simple-ish enough gameplay that I think you could like easily pick it up as well and be like, oh, okay, this is how this works, kind of thing. So
Hmm. Can you
that's
put it
what
on
I
an
was
easy
doing.
enough difficulty that you're not grinding all the time? Because
Yeah,
that is a gamer experience, is grinding
that
in
is
an
that is
RPG.
that is a gamer experience. But I think a visual novel would be a good place
Hmm.
to like get someone started, like Steins Gate or like the nonary games, like
Hmm.
999 and Zero Escape and Zero Time Dilemma, like those games are really good. I love visual novels. I feel like they were really slept on for a long time. And then they had this little uptick in popularity, and they were like super cool and super kind of at the forefront for a while. And I think they've kind of gone back into their dormant phase a little. But I don't think people should sleep on them, because visual novels
Wake
are
up.
cool. Yeah, wake
visual
up.
Novels are cool.
Play a goddamn visual novel. So Steins Gate is my recommendation, because that's still one of my favorite stories in any media ever.
So this is actually one that I've pulled off as well. I'm proud of myself. Actually, I'm not the one who pulled it off, but my best friend, we grew up playing like Pokemon and things like that together. So she was exposed to games. It's not like she was against video games, but she wasn't a PC gamer and she didn't play a lot of video games. And another one of our friends introduced her to Dragon Age. And she played through Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 on an Xbox 360, was so in love with them that she built her first PC so that she could play Dragon Age Inquisition when it launched. And so like, that's my first gut instinct as a person who loves Dragon Age, but that was 9 years ago. That was in the year 2014 that this occurred. In the year 2023, I would not sit a person who doesn't play many video games and is looking for a good story in front of Dragon Age Origins. I would not do that to somebody that I cared about. You need to already know how to play RPGs. You're going to go play a 10-year-old, 10 plus. How old is Dragon Age Origins? It came out in like 2009 or 10. That is more than 10 years old. So I could not like reasonably suggest that. And even something that is known to have a really good story like Disco Elysium, and is not as demanding as a like real time with pause RPG the way that Dragon Age Origins is, I still think there's a gamey quality to it that if you're not already attuned to how an adventure game works and you want a good story and like you are not like engaged in exactly how to interact with game worlds like an adventure game, I don't know if that's the right place to start either, despite how amazing that story of course is.
No, I agree. There's so much room for error in Disco Elysium as well.
Yes. Like, the failure points.
For no fucking reason in that game.
And it's great. And we all talk about how amazing that is, that you can die for no reason. But if you're not like a big like RPG gamer, that has got to be an awful feeling. And it might make you walk away and not come back. So I went with a slightly different tactic, and I sort of went to similar territory as you. I first grabbed for Telltale games, and I thought that might be too easy because I feel like you could put somebody in front of like The Wolf Among Us or the Telltale Game of Thrones was pretty good as well. And those are, they have quick time events in them occasionally.
You could simplify them, right?
But I think there are options to simplify them. And I think that's like relatively grokkable as like a game thing. I don't think it's hard to understand. It might be hard to pull off the first couple times you're presented with it, but it makes sense immediately. And they have good stories. They're the original Telltale games, before Telltale Games became a different Telltale Games, are known for being excellent. And I was like, okay, maybe that's too easy. Try a little bit harder. So I thought also Supermassive's horror games are a good pick too. I think The Quarry is the most recent one. That's Supermassive, isn't it? I didn't play it myself. I've watched friends play it. Like you mentioned, backseating can be really fun with that type of stuff. And those are, they're all horror games. So taste may vary whether or not you have a friend that can stomach horror or not. But I really think that both of those things are like the quick time and the choices that you have to make and the way that they change the story. That's taking a friend who enjoys stories and giving them something that's distinctly gamey and like PC gamey of like understanding you're changing the story. Like it's kind of intense. Like you want to solve the puzzle, you want to do it right. And that takes it from just enjoying the fact that stories exist in games and like enjoying the way that stories can work in games. So I'd say like The Quarry was really fun. I really liked watching my friends play that. I personally, of the Dark Pictures anthology, I only played the first two of those, but I really did like Man of Medan, the first one that's on the like haunted ghost ship.
Yeah, I haven't finished that one yet, but I enjoyed what I played of that.
Yeah. So those were my picks for your story, friend.
What about,
I like the idea of pushing them towards choice stuff.
Yeah, like choice, narrative driven stuff. What about like Night in the Woods as well?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Night in the Woods feels like a good one as well. I'm basing this there is again a YouTuber that I really love, and she just does like nail art stuff. That's like her main thing. Her name is Simply Nailogical. She does like nail things. That is her like whole. That's what her channel was for like a long time. She doesn't really make videos anymore. She streams a lot now, but she's never been a gamer. She was like self-admitted that she wasn't really a gamer, but then she started playing like Detroit Become Human. She played Life is Strange. She played like all of those again, like those sort of choice driven, sort of that you're still actively engaging with the game, but not in a necessarily challenging way mechanically, more so just like dialogue choices, right? And she loves them. Like that's a lot of what she plays and what she streams, and it's super interesting to like watch this person that always said that she wasn't really a gamer become super invested in all these little stories. So I think you have the right line of thinking there, because like Steins Gate is such a pure visual novel. There's so little like actual gameplay interaction with it that it might be like, well, why am I sat at a desk staring at a screen?
I've told you that's why I struggle with visual novels.
Yeah, because I could do that.
But I appreciate that they're great. But yeah, that's always the point at which I struggle with them, is like, if it's really well written, I'm just like, I wish it were in a book and I was sitting on my couch.
Yeah. Like, because it is so pure. There's so like little gameplay compared to say like Phoenix Wright or Danganronpa or the Nonary games, where they're sort of like hybrid with other genres, and there's like actual dedicated gameplay segments. I can't say gameplay today. Dedicated gameplay segments in them. And so like Steins Gate might on paper seem like the perfect little, it's like, oh, it's like loads of text and a cool story. But I do agree with you. I think like a little choose your own adventure kind of type deal would be the best. Damn, Lauren, you're good at this.
I tried. I am so excited that we both went with the solitaire games.
Same,
so
like
happy.
almost the exact same game, same developer.
For the same reason.
For the same reason.
Fantastic. You've already alluded to this, but would you recommend your favorite game to somebody trying to get into PC gaming?
Yeah, just no. I don't think so.
No.
I know I just kind of said like maybe Final Fantasy X, but then you mentioned the grinding, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I had not considered the grinding aspect of getting through this really cool story. I don't think so. Like, my favorite games are just filled with bullshit. Like, so much bullshit that if you're into that, like, great. And I am into that, so great. If you're like coming into this kind of not having really played PC games or not really having gamed much at all, if you're coming into that and it's like, hey, here's like 150 hours of like the stupidest bullshit you will ever witness, but if you get through it, there's some really cool stuff. Can I do that to people? Hell no.
No.
I can't do that. You kind of said the same already with Dragon Age, right? Which is one of your favorite, all-time favorites.
Yeah, I don't know what my like all-time favorite is right now anymore, but like obviously Dragon Age is certainly up there. It holds a special place in my heart, and like I said, no, I would not put somebody in front of Dragon Age Origins or Inquisition. Even if you think somebody could and should start with Inquisition, I wouldn't put somebody in front of that to turn them into a PC gamer or a gamer either. It can work. It has worked, I'm sure, on people. But I would not be putting any money or emotional investment of my pride or anything else into making that play. I wouldn't go for it.
No, maybe like a few games in, right? When they start to get a feel for them. Maybe then, but like for the first game, we can't be doing that to them.
I'm gonna drop somebody into Divinity Original Sin 2. Bam! Good luck. Enjoy PC gaming.
I think even if you did that to me, I would just be like a deer in headlights. So I would be like, oh, like what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Why is everything on fire all of the time?
Yeah. Couldn't do it.
We've cracked the code. I think we've done it. We've turned several people in your life into PC gamers, especially your mom. I just think since our brains are in the same place, it has to be the only right answer that there is.
I think we really came together on that one, and I knew our minds would converge,
meet somewhere. Yes.
And I'm so glad that it was just our moms.
Just our moms. Excellent. Well done. Thanks, Molly. And good luck to everybody else trying to turn all the people in your life into PC gamers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.